So that's what happened there. I'm sorry for that, but I had no ID number to get into a Zoom meeting.
It was just a link to click on, and after the meeting, I have emailed you a few times trying to reschedule. So it's very important that we get a meeting scheduled.
Well, we can do that then. Yes, I'm doing the best I can. I'm not computer savvy, my dear, but I'm doing the best I can. So we'll hook up something. But like I said, the father has been served, and I'm waiting for the proof of personal service paperwork to come back so it can be filed in the courts.
So that's where we're at, Your Honor. So I guess we need an extension.
Okay. Do we want to go 1 week or to go? No, I'm not going to here in 2 weeks, and I'm sort of more familiar with this one, but I could set it out 2 weeks. I'm not sure we'll be covering that, but I could set it out to next week if you think we could get. Do you think you could have a meetings done prior to next week?
2 weeks would probably be better, Your Honor. That way I can get the paperwork filed at the courts and I can have a conversation with Ms. Farr.
Ms. Farr, does that work for you?
I am available on the 20th. Well, actually, I have trial that week, and I'm not sure which day it's going to be. Do
we have still?
I think 1 week would be better.
I'm not seeing Mr. Goodday on here. Okay, I'll get an order done. We'll come back in 3 weeks on that one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I know we just appointed you, I believe, to replace Ms. Winkles.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think we just put this on as a review to make sure we had everybody on board, and you had a lawyer lined up, which I know we didn't when we left the last time. So at this juncture, where are we? Is everybody out on this one?
From my understanding, Your Honor, we're kind of waiting to see what's occurring in the family law matter. I think they're set on the 28th because that's the sticking point. I think everybody's in agreement with the plan except for father.
Okay, and you said it's a matter set on the 28th on that one?
I think, Your Honor, it's the 28th or 26th. I apologize. Let me pull it up. But I know it's towards end of May. And one request, Your Honor, I didn't know how you wanted to handle it. If this matter does go to trial, one of the trial dates, I'm not available. I didn't know if the court wanted to address that issue now. I was trying to preserve funds, you know, for my client not having to file a motion to change. I think everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody, Ms. Day and Mr. Reisenberg were in agreement, but I haven't heard from Dad's counsel.
So we currently have a review hearing set May 7th. That's today. And then we have one set July. Oh, July's not till then. Okay.
I think that's, I think that might be readiness.
Yeah. Mr. Reisenberg, any thoughts you have? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had a little bit of technical difficulty.
It's all right. Any, I guess if we have a family law matter that, do you think that may resolve this case if that?
My understanding, though, I'm not involved in the family matter, so I'm just working on secondhand knowledge, but it sounds like that is hopefully proceeding towards what would resolve the entire issue, yeah.
Okay. And let me see here.
And I checked, Your Honor, May 28th is the hearing in the family law matter. And I believe, again, secondhand, like Mr. Reisenberg, that Ms. Day was appointed in that matter as well. So hopefully that helps to resolve.
Okay. Maybe what we should do then is just simply set a review on this matter in early. We'll know the outcome of that case, and then we can determine if we need to reset trial dates in this matter.
That would be agreeable, Your Honor, if it's agreeable to their counsel. Makes the most sense.
Yeah, that works for me.
I mean, I don't think we do. We need an extension order on this one? I think we're probably already extended through the trial date, aren't we?
I think we are extended already, so I think
Okay. All right. So let's just go back and take another look at this, just mainly a status check, on, do you want to go the 4th or the 11th? Have a preference?
I don't have a preference. I'll defer to council schedule. To me, I think earlier the better if we know if we're going to have to reset trial dates.
Okay. How about does 4th work for everybody?
I'm sorry, which month?
The 4th? I don't see Mr. Anagnosto on this either. I'm not sure he was here when we set this review. This was really a status to make sure we had an attorney appointed to replace Ms. Winkles, and we were on track there. So, well, we'll take another look at it then let's come back on the 4th and we'll check status. And if it looks like it's resolved, we'll go that route. If not, then we can take a look at the trial dates and any rescheduling that may need to be done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I won't do an order on this one. That'll just be off clerk's notes.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. What was that?
Does look like they're on the immediate. They don't have the emergency granted yet, so they would need an immediate to extend. It just was put in under the wrong type of name.
Let me just take a look here.
I guess the immediate order is good until August.
Till August 3rd. Yeah, so we're good through August 13th. Okay, yep, no order. We'll just go up clerk's notes. We'll see you back then in about a month, and hopefully we'll have an answer at that point. 80-08. This was just you. Do we have anybody here on that matter?
Melissa Wenzel.
Charles Black.
And mom is unavailable.
Okay, so this one was going to be filed in California, as I understood.
Yes, so Your Honor, I have returned to California with Bailey, and myself and father have come to an agreement based upon Bailey's mental health, and he's in the process of stipulation between him and mom in agreement for Bailey to remain with me. So at this time, we would like to see, is there
You just muted yourself.
to grant to continue the temporary order for about another 2 weeks while he gets her to sign the stipulation amongst them.
Now, is that going to be in California for that order?
Yes.
Okay. I see Mr. Chuck Black is there. Is that your understanding, sir?
Yep.
Okay. Any objection to us continuing this order for another 2 weeks?
Nope.
Actually, Your Honor, if we could get it for 3, just because Alicia has made herself unavailable both to him and her children, and he will have to pursue to have contact with her.
2 weeks. I know I'm not here on that docket, and I know I don't want to stick. This one's a little more complicated than some others because I've been dealing with it. So let's go to the 28th. Extend to the 28th without other changes.
Thank you.
All right. And if there's no need for anything further from this court at that time, no one will need to show up. I'll simply dismiss it on the 28th if there's nobody here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and good luck on that. This
Thanks.
showed as being on to approve the petition. Ms. Barr, do you know where we're at on? I was confused when I looked at this one.
Yes, this one is, this is the case that we had the non-custodial parental order, custody order in it, and we needed to get the motion to convert filed in the NPC and order to convert to the current guardianship case number. And petitioner has tried to do that twice, and the clerk's office is refusing to do that. And I'm not sure what the reason for that is. That's one issue. The other is service. We're still working on service.
May I say something? This is Angie, the one who has custody of Myra. When I took the paperwork in to file it, the court clerk there told me that my number for the custody no longer exists. Therefore, we couldn't use my case number, that it all had to be filed underneath the new number because they no longer have any of those numbers available. So they wouldn't accept the paperwork until we put the new number on it, the one that Kelly and Alex have.
This is a document.
There's several different guardianships for this minor. And they were trying to file into a child custody case, which is not an active case type anymore. We cannot put anything into a child custody case.
Right, so that child custody case has to be converted over. That's what the motion to convert in order to convert is. But then it goes to the new guardianship number.
I reviewed the statute in terms, I don't think there's any authority to convert a non-parental custody to a guardianship.
And so, Your Honor, after the last hearing we had with you, I sent you that email with all the information in it and the forms. Do you recall reading that?
The forms exist, but I don't think the forms are correct based on the statute. I know there's pattern forms, but I don't know that there's a petition that was filed in this case. This a petition to terminate or modify.
Right. Well, so the original petition was filed in this case for the guardianship, and then they filed the petition to modify it because that's what the clerk told them to.
But they filed that in this case.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
That's filed in this case.
Correct. But it shouldn't have been filed in this case because we're not modifying this case. This is a new case.
Right. And I guess that's where I was confused when I saw this, because I didn't know, I was trying to understand what we were doing today. I know we had extended it out to look at this one.
So the last hearing was in front of Commissioner Baldwin. And then so they were supposed to go to the clerk's office and file the conversion from the NPC to the current guardianship case. But it's very confusing.
Okay. We needed to have a discussion with the clerk's office on that whole process, because this, and I did look through the documents, and I think this may be the one you were talking about, but my last review through the statute didn't show any ability to do this. That's the problem that I was running into, unless they change the statute, and I'm not aware of, but.
Right, because the forms are in the forms bank. And that my understanding is, and I've done several of these in a couple of counties, and that has always been the procedure. So I don't have the authority in front of me, but I can do some research on it and then maybe call the clerk's office and find out, coordinate with them on what needs to be done.
Give me 1 second here. So on this one, I guess my thought would be, so this is the only thing that we're holding up on this one right now?
But we still have a service issue as well.
Okay. I guess on this one, then, I'm going to suggest we put it over 3 weeks as well. I'll extend out for 3 weeks to the 28th.
The current order is good until June 10th.
Oh, it is till June 10th. I guess I won't do that then. And I'll take another look at this. Well, if it's until June 10th, let me take a look here. What do we, I show a review on April.
6th page of the order. It says the emergency guardianship is ordered until a final hearing is held on the minor guardianship petition or stand by a minor guardianship petition. Opinion is good for 60 days until June.
Okay, we do have a hearing already set May 28th on this one here. So I guess let's leave it on for the 28th of May. I'll take another look at this particular issue And then I'll try and reach out to you as far between now and then, and also with the clerk's office and see if we can get that sorted.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll leave it on for the 28th of May, which is a date we already have in the file. And
I think that one, for some reason, the emergency case and the minor and the standard case were filed under different case numbers.
Correct.
But that, in that particular case, we are ready to enter orders, or almost ready, because petitioner sent me her the draft of her orders. I got them this morning, so I need to review them, make some edits, and then we can go forward and get final orders entered. Mother is consented.
okay. So on this one, I think I did speak with the clerk on this one, and because they're two completely different case numbers, that created some challenges as far as the consolidation. And I'm thinking back, it's been a couple of weeks ago that we had that. So my thought on this one would be is I can just extend the temporary out to the time that we need to get the orders prepared. And then once we have those ready, those should be done in the permanent case, if that makes sense. And then we'll just simply dismiss the emergency at the time we enter the final orders.
Okay.
So the final orders should be in the 24 case number, 24-4-8408, with the, and I'll do the extension in the 457 matter. How much time do you think you'll need to get on that one with paperwork?
I'm going to run into the same problem with that, not knowing what's going to happen in 2 weeks. So if we could set it to the 28th.
28th, okay. 28th at 10:30. Hopefully we'll have final paperwork on that one.
Yes, I'll get it to the clerk's office, or get it to the court by then.
Okay, and then can we put, Vanessa, put both of these on for that date as well? So we'll have both cases on the docket, but we'll only enter orders on the 84 matter, and then I'll do just a bench order dismissing the 457 if we have that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, or good morning, I should say. It's been quite a morning already, so.
Yeah.
This one, I noticed we have consents filed in from both parents.
And Your Honor, I did email the signed agreed order between the petitioner and myself. Parents have not appeared. So I did email those to your JA.
Well, I haven't seen those yet, and that's basically because I was in another hearing until about 2 minutes after this docket was supposed to start. So give me just a second.
So we have consents from both parents. Mother is in California. Father is in the state hospital in Oregon.
Okay, so what I will do then is I will enter those orders. I'll get those printed up right after docket and enter those orders today.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So I'm back. I let Mandy take Angelique so I can move all my belongings out of Washington back into my hometown where I can live, because we went from divorcing to my mom dying to relocating all my belongings, like all within like a few month period, you know? And so when I decided to move my belongings without Angelique with me, I let Mandy come pick her up and take her to Washington with her, but she was already living in California with me at the time. So I didn't plan on being gone. Like I've already been away from my kid too long. Like I plan on this being like a month or two, and now it's turning into something more than what I ever anticipated because of this becoming a legal matter. And so I'm not sure like if I can go get my daughter back from her, because I willingly let her take her. Can I willingly go get her now?
Well, okay, you signed a consent form for her to be a guardian back in January.
Emergency temporary guardian. I signed it on November 6th. I signed just a piece of paper that I typed up and I went and got it notarized just so someone was legally responsible for my daughter while I was moving all my belongings, because she's so complex and she's in a wheelchair and she has very severe medical needs that need full attention. I couldn't move my belongings with and give my daughter the care she needed at the same time.
Okay, I'm confused because I've got a document that looks like, appears that you signed December 26th of 2023 to this case, which is what Ms. Farr had based all of her information on. And then we were continuing the temporary situation until we received the consent from Mr. Seawald, which was now in the file April 29th.
So when I willingly let my daughter go with Mandy so I can move all my belongings out of her life and into my own life, did I like lose my kid or something?
Well,
I just wanted to make sure she can order her medical supplies and stuff, is why I got this paper notarized and let her sign the paper from the courts. I didn't know I was giving over my kid for a long duration of time because she's my whole world. I just did what was best for her at the moment.
The consent that she's talking about, it is in the file from November, if you want to look.
Okay, hold on just a second. Ms. Ford, you know,
Well, I have not had a conversation with the mother through all of these proceedings. So this is the first I'm hearing, but it sounds like she's objecting now.
is Angelique here?
Angelique is 9 years old and 10 years old, and she is she's disabled and
Nonverbal.
My apologies. I was looking at the wrong spot there.
And so I feel like I did what was best for my daughter at the time.
Hold on. I'm sort of where we're at here. We're maybe what we need to do at this juncture.
Amanda German is the petitioner, and the instructions were that she didn't need to be here. We were going to enter the orders because the court already made the decision and said that she didn't have to be present because they were agreed.
Right. And we did that back in April.
So do I not have custody of my own daughter now, or?
Well, Amanda has the guardianship over your daughter right now. And the question becomes, at this point, we had a hearing back about a week ago, looks like on the 23rd. It was Commissioner Baldwin. And it was extended to today. Maybe what we need to do here is I could extend this out, have you chat with Ms. Farr, and then we can make it its determination kind of where we're at on the case then.
When can I go get my daughter back? Because this was supposed to be like a few month thing. Like this was just take a few months.
Ma'am, hold on just a minute. Okay. You signed a number of documents that have, this case has been going on since last November, and then there was another consent to this guardianship that you signed. It looks like you signed in December, which what this whole thing was based on. So this is the first anybody has heard that you were objecting to this ongoing.
What I was signing was, my understanding was that something so she can order her medical supplies. That's the only thing Mandy told me, is that I'm just going to do this so I can legally call and order her medical supplies every month, and I can schedule her doctor's appointments and talk to doctors about her issues. And so that's why I signed those documents. I didn't sign those papers thinking that I was signing over a guardianship of my daughter. Emergency temporaries, because I was moving my belongings.
Was that back in November?
Yeah, November 6th.
Okay. Do you recall signing another document in December?
Yeah, but that's what she told my sisters. Like, I haven't even heard. There's a restraining order in effect between Mandy and I haven't even been able to get updates on my daughter, nothing, because she's not talking to my sisters or nothing about anything. I haven't heard about no doctor's appointments or nothing. So, like, she's like doing all this stuff that's like telling me one thing and it is being completely opposite. And it's not in the best interest of my daughter to be away from me because I've been her like 95% of her caregiver the whole duration of her life.
Okay, well, probably at this juncture, what we need to do is I'm not going to enter these orders today. I am going to continue the temporary to give you an opportunity to speak to Ms. Barr, and we'll kind of get an understanding of what's happening here and how we need to proceed. But I'm not going to change the status quo so that your daughter still be with Amanda pending us coming to some kind of conclusion here. But I'm not going to enter a final order of any kind today. So, Ms. Barr, can you maybe send through the chat your phone number to her or something, and then we can at least, and maybe we want to put this out about 3 weeks as well.
Yes.
This is like, I can't be away from my daughter very much longer. She's gonna forget me or something's gonna happen to her. She has a fatal medical condition.
Well, ma'am, this case has been going on since November.
I know, I understand that. This has only been a restraining order in effect has been interfering with my ways of communicating with Mandy.
Okay.
And
well,
Mandy has been able to get a hold of me through my sisters, and she just hasn't been doing that.
let me stop you for just a second. If there's a protection order in place, and I don't have that in front of me, if there is a protection order, that's a separate issue. And that, even if I were to not enter this order, that would still restrict you from the contact. I don't have that in front of me, so I don't know what all it says. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this out, and 1 week is not going to be sufficient. We could try 2, but Ms. Barr, I know, is tied up in a trial, and I'm not going to be here in 2 weeks. So I'm looking at the 28th. And then if you can talk with her, and then Ms. Barr, it looks like we need to have an attorney involved. If you can let our office know that, we can get that done prior to that hearing.
So does Ms. German qualify for a court appointed?
Well, I don't know. Are you employed, ma'am?
Not currently. I just finished moving my stuff.
Okay. So, and you haven't been employed for a while?
I quit working when I left Washington, and yeah, I haven't been employed because I've been.
Okay, she probably would qualify.
It's a lot of work to move with the disabled kid. So that's why I let her go be with Mandy. I'm like trying to do what's best for my kid, but being away from me is not what's best for my kid.
So, Ms. German, I put my phone number in the chat to you. Can you see that?
Yes.
So please write that down and then give me a call this afternoon.
All right, I will do. Definitely. What was your name?
Sherry.
All right, thank you, Sherry.
So I'll set
Thank you, Bashor.
28th at 10:30.
28th at 10:30. Okay.
That's 3 weeks from today.
Thank you for your time. You guys have a good day.
Yes, you as well. Okay, so we'll come back and take another look at this on that date, and get orders other than all the prevention order.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think I saw.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Trotter. Right, there we go. Okay. So, and we did receive a packet of information on this, and so Ms. Powers, did you receive that?
I'm not sure what packet you're referring to. I did get responsive pleadings from Mr. Trotter on behalf of his clients.
Yes.
I believe we're still waiting on the GAL report. And I was wondering if the court would entertain ordering the parents to do a hair follicle test, as that seems to be a prominent issue in front of the court in this case. And I can bring a separate motion if that's needed, but I wondered if the parents would be willing to agree and the court could order that today so that we can have some solid information on that issue.
No, we're still waiting on drug test results. So I don't know if that is sufficient or not.
Which test results are we looking at on this one?
For Mr. Havens and Ty Clapp and Patricia Havens. We don't
Did
have
they do,
results.
did they do a hair follicle test?
I don't think it was a hair follicle test. I'm uncertain though, to be honest.
We see here just a second. I'm just looking back on the file. Turnbull present.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Well, it's a little bit of a hectic morning, but that's so. Have you had any time to look at this case? I know we just appointed you about a month ago. Looks like
To look at it. Yes. I don't have my report done. I do have a meeting set up with Mary Havens, the Guardian, this Friday.
barely getting your audio. Yeah, we're. I'm going to. All right, I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. Let's get her back online. That was just I couldn't hear what she was talking about. So look, I see I've got a Mr. Lowe present on video. Do I have Kevin Beatty or Tina Beatty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning.
So this appeared to be agreed. Is that my understanding? Am I correct on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you receive any orders on this one? Just 1 second here. Have you folks prepared final orders or agreed on this? I might have those here.
You should have everything, at least to the best that I know.
Let me take a quick look here.
First time I've done it.
Yeah, and we do have our CPS information. So it looks like that. So I've seen, is that Christine Lassane,
sir.
Lassane, okay. That was a good guess then. I'm not always butchering names. So, and then I've got Jason Lowe. I assume that's you, sir.
Yes, it is, sir.
All right. And the two of you are in agreement with this guardianship going forward?
Your Honor,
I'm in the.
that's Joellen. That's the grandmother. That's with Jason.
That's not Christine.
Joellen is with Jason.
Got it. Okay. So, but Jason, you're agreeable to this?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And do I have Christine here? I don't see her here, not in my waiting room, and she did sign a consent form. So based on that, I should be able to go ahead and proceed forward.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
As soon as I heal and I get at least 6 months without having a seizure, I would like to take Jeremiah for full custody.
Well, what you'll need to do at that point, sir, is you can come back into this and you can file a motion or a petition to have this looked at and make those decisions.
Okay.
It's a permanent order, but any order like this is permanent until there's another hearing, essentially. So if you fix all the issues that are there and you want to come forward, and you may be able to do that by agreement with the Beatties. If not by agreement, then you can file a motion. We'll be happy to take a look at it.
Okay. And I do not want Chrissy's boyfriend next to Jeremiah.
And Tina and Kevin, is that something you guys are?
I don't think that's an issue.
I don't think that would be an issue.
Okay. So it sounds like they're on board with that. So I will sign these orders, and this will conclude this case for today. It'll be in place. But again, if you do, once you get to the place where you think you're ready to come back in, get a hold of them. If you come to an agreement, that's certainly agreeable to do it by just an order presented to us. If not, then file back in this case and we'll take another look at it.
What do you mean, sir?
If between you and the Beatties, you come to an agreement that the child's going to go back to you or to you, you guys can submit an agreed order that dismisses this and does that.
Okay.
If you don't agree, if they don't agree with you or whatever, you can always come back and we'll take another look at it and see what your situation is and go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
So I will sign these orders and they will be filed with the clerk today, and there won't be any further hearings until one of you schedules them.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hope you get past your situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't see Ms. Turnbull back. So that being the case, it doesn't sound like she's ready to do much today anyway.
Your Honor, what I would request is that we set this over, and if possible, I'd ask the court to order a 14-panel hair follicle test from both parents. In the short time I've been logged onto this docket, Patricia Havens has fallen asleep on camera, or appears to have fallen asleep on camera
texting.
a few different times.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's.
Texting. And it would be important information for the GAL as they're completing their report.
One moment. Sorry. Sorry, Patricia. I'll respond in a moment.
Wow.
Yeah, if I could have you folks just sit tight a second, your attorney will respond. Trotter?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. And so we would be in agreement with the set over, but we do want the court to know that as indicated in the pleadings, that my client is revoking her consent to a voluntary placement agreement. We do believe that we're able to demonstrate through the pleadings that both parents are willing and able. Mr. Clapp is employed, self-employed. He also, through the pleadings, you see that is a structured annuity. And they also have stable housing. So there'd be no reason for the child to remain with the other party at this point in time. And then I have a request with respect to visitation, if the court decides to set this over.
Just a second, I see Ms. Turnbull looks like she may be back. Let me get her in here. Ms. Turnbull, can you hear us now?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
That's much better.
Okay. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but we could only get about every third syllable. So,
well, I'm in my car, and apparently the reception wasn't as good as I thought.
okay. So while you were out, a couple of issues. One is a request by Ms. Powers to have the parties do, excuse me, a hair follicle test.
I would be supportive of that.
Okay. And
that's fine, Your Honor. That's fine.
Then there's a request to, I guess, set this matter out in order to give you an opportunity, I assume, to dig into this a bit. There was a document filed which you may or may not have that does revoke the voluntary placement, which, from what I can tell, that was done under a dependency case filing
Yes.
with CPS involved. So that's a different case than this case. And I don't know if I can give you that number.
I can clarify for the court that consent was done under a dependency. The DSHS did not go forward and file a dependency. They did file the consent because there was potential Indian heritage, but the consent was for a very limited period of time, and the minor guardianship was filed to handle the issue of guardianship beyond the time period of that consent.
Right. And I understand that. I just was trying to make sure that Ms. Turnbull was aware that was a separate case where that was involved.
I did not know that they'd filed the dependency, but I was aware that they would be, or that they would be moving forward with the dependency if
Yeah,
Ms. Hayden said not.
it appears that case file, all they did was file the consent to relative placement, which, as powers, it looks like that was done because it's under the ICWA, Native American, rulings that has to be done when there's those kind of things.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how we got from there to here. And then this guardianship was filed, kind of taking over from that. So I don't believe that in this case there has been a consent filed.
That's my understanding. There's been an
Correct.
objection.
Okay.
Yes.
So just from a I guess the legal analysis of that would be as they'd signed an agreement for voluntary placement that was done through the state of Washington as part of whatever they were doing in that dependency that ended up not following through. That was not part of this case. So whether that would be revoked or not is, I mean, that I don't know that necessarily affects this case one way or the other. This is a separate case, which would need to stand on its own anyway. So, Ms. Turnbull, you don't have a report yet, which I didn't expect because you haven't been in that long. How much time do you think you're going to need to be able to have a report for us on this one?
Well, would another month be acceptable?
I don't know. How does everybody feel about that?
Of course,
I have no objection to that.
we'd rather have less time, but if that's what is best, then 30 days is fine.
Okay. Part of that, I think, Ms. Trimble, you probably assume you can move that quickly as long as everybody's quick in responding to you, so that will probably speed things up. So that's a critical piece of this. So at least let's start there. So we get a target date. That would be the 4th of June.
Yes, sure.
That would be at 10:30. And yeah, I think I heard you say your clients are agreeable to do a hair follicle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Ms. Powers, if you want to include that in an extension order.
Yes, can it include that they do the hair follicle this week? And I would ask for 14 panel. They have filed showing that they do have the financial means that they should be able to afford to pay for that testing.
Can we have my parents do one too?
Yeah, that would be, because there is some concern about the parents' use of alcohol, is my understanding. Excessive use in front of the child.
That I didn't see that in any of the objections or declarations filed. I haven't had a chance to discuss that with my client.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to order that today. If the guardian thinks that's something that would be a help to her, then I would authorize that based on her on a written request from her to the parties.
And Your Honor, if this is the appropriate time to talk about visitation in the interim.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. As you can imagine, the 203 miles it takes to travel to visit is quite cumbersome for my clients, and so we again asked that there be a midpoint. Vancouver, I know that there's been several attempts to get to the current location. They've had several issues doing that, but admittedly, but I think a closer location would be better. Additionally, we'd like to request 2 to 3, visitation for days in which the other party is not working, so that it is more efficient for both parties to meet at a midpoint. Sundays at 1 p.m. Simply just isn't enough time, and the distance traveling is very cumbersome.
Ms. Powers?
Your Honor, the parents have not been exercising their visitation. They have canceled almost every single one. When they have shown up, they've often shown up late. I know that the most recent visit was last Sunday and they canceled that again. They keep saying that they're having tire problems with their car. I think that's been the consistent excuse for about the last month and a half. So I would ask that we leave it the way it is until we've got the GAL report, can shed some more light, but where they're not even exercising the visitation that the courts granted them, it's not appropriate to increase visitation.
I think if I may respond, the challenge is travel. That's the issue. And so if we could reduce the burden of travel to some extent, that would greatly help my client. If vehicle and mode of transportation is an issue, then that also concerns travel.
I guess my question and just I'm trying to understand this. If your clients are having difficulty getting to Goldendale, that's about another hour and a half past Portland, Vancouver area. How are they going to get to Portland, Vancouver area?
It would also be their vehicle, but I know that their transportation source has obviously not been reliable, so we're hoping to not rely on it as much.
There's also a bus that goes to Portland
I had to
from
fix it.
Astoria.
Okay.
If we
Yeah.
had to take that.
So we're willing to take another mode.
I couldn't hear that.
I think she was saying that they could instead of using their vehicle, which is sometimes unreliable, they could use a bus to to commute to the Vancouver area.
And Ms. Powers, do your folks have an ability to get into Vancouver?
I believe that they do. I'd remind the court that this baby was born at the end of January, so it would be easier for the parents to travel than it would for this baby to travel. And my clients are working full-time and caring for the newborn full-time. The only thing the parents need to do under the current order is show up for this visit once a week in Goldendale. We would ask that they bear the heavier burden of travel at this time until we get more from the GAL.
Ms. Trimble, do you have any thoughts on this? I know you haven't got a lot of information yet.
Well, I weighed in on this last time as well. I do have concerns that the parents have barely shown up for any of the visitation that they've been offered, and to ask the guardian to drive and take her day to drive with this newborn to a visit that the parents may not show up for is an additional burden that I don't think should be asked of her at this time. I'd like to see, and I do agree that if that's a car issue, if they can drive to Vancouver, they should be able to drive to Goldendale. I don't think that it's the issue of the bus. I think that there are bigger issues at stake here.
So we'd be happy to we'll take a bus then.
Okay.
I think part of it's communication as well.
Would you mind sharing more
Communication
about that?
doesn't happen. Well, the communication often doesn't happen till the very last minute.
Okay, we'll get more timely communication.
Okay, well, let's do this. We're going to be out about 4 weeks. So how about we do this? I'm not going to change the visit time and place right now. What I will do is for this coming visit on the 12th, this next Sunday, let's do one visit, and now I'll do that in Vancouver area. I don't know what's a good agreeable spot. I'm trying to think what's down there.
Tell them you're taking.
Like is Vancouver Mall? I don't know. I just threw that out because
that's probably an easy one to get to. There's restaurants and probably some park areas or something around there. Does everybody know where Vancouver Mall is? Okay, so let's do a visit there and maybe have you, There's a restaurant that's just as, I think there's a, what's the name of that restaurant? Just as you come in there. Somebody help me.
Got a couple, Popeyes, we got pizza, I mean.
There's a Red,
no,
there's a Red Robin
Red Robin, okay.
when you come in off the freeway. So how about you meet in the parking lot there and then you can figure out where you're going to visit. That's just an easy one to find.
Yep.
And at the same time, and here's the thing, if you can't make that visit, you need to let them know ahead of time so they don't drive in. And if you don't let them know that and don't show up, then it's going to go back to Goldendale. And I think I'm just going to leave the rest of the visits there, but we'll do one in Vancouver. I want to see how you do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, also, I have made contact, I talked to my attorney about this, but I need a updated safety plan. I've already made contact to go to NARA, but I would like my baby to join me there, but I need a safety plan to be able to apply for both of us to go there. And I don't know where to get that.
I think the safety plan is, we could talk about the line, but the safety plan should come from a qualified professional, I would believe. But we can talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to go this week. Like,
Talk about it with the Trotter, and then that can be presented as to everyone else in the case. Okay.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, I will draft an order, but can I just clarify? Has the court ordered that the parties do a 14-panel hair follicle test this week?
Yes.
Okay, I'll include that. And then in terms of visitation, the visit for this Sunday will be in Vancouver, meet at the Red Robin. At the same time they've been doing visits, the remainder of the visits between now and the next hearing will be in Goldendale. Just this Sunday will be in Vancouver.
Right, and that's the Vancouver Mall, Red Robin. I don't know if there's more than one, but
Your Honor, I planned on going to treatment. Like, I won't be able to do that because I planned on putting myself into treatment so that I can have my baby join me there. I talked to Michael about this last night.
Ma'am, that's not happening today.
It's happening this week. Like,
This case is processing through, and you'll need to talk with them. She's going to make recommendations to the court. I did receive a big pile of paperwork from your attorney prepared by you guys, but as of today, I don't have any. I mean, we're here to kind of look at this case and see what the next step is. So if you want to do a different thing, then talk with your attorney about that, and we'll be happy to look at that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, but this visit this Sunday would be for the 12th. Is that what I said? Yeah, the 12th, and that'd be at the same time, but at the Vancouver Mall. And you don't have to stay there. You can go somewhere else if you want to. I mean, that's a good meeting point. Okay.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
Oh, I'm told that that's Mother's Day, which is a good reminder to me, but you probably will be too busy to eat there, I'm guessing. So.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Powers, I'll take a look at your order when I see that, and we'll see you back in a month.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And with that, we're going to adjourn.